Hello, I'm David Chester with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock. With news, bank funding costs are facing a tight spot. But first, official data in the US services sector for the second quarter is surprisingly positive. Total revenue at service firms rose 4.3% in the June quarter compared with a year earlier. That compares very well with the 3.5% growth in the first quarter of this year and the 2.2% growth in the final quarter of 2015. It was the strongest year-on-year revenue gain since the end of 2014. In Europe, the ECB disappointed markets by keeping its interest rates unchanged and leaving the door ajar for more stimulus. But that was about all. It gave few hints about the next move. Markets had expected a more decisively dovish position. In China, export growth rose in August, but that was due to a weaker yuan. Imports, however, rose for the first time in nearly 2 years, and perhaps that suggests domestic demand there may be picking up. In US dollar terms, their trade surplus narrowed somewhat. The faster pace of import growth will be welcomed by its trading partners. And in Australia, a new report is warning of the effects of Chinese language online media and their drive to keep immigrant communities tied to news and views that reflect Beijing's worldview. Official Chinese soft power efforts are being directed to try and avert local assimilation. Fortunately, the report finds the efforts are likely to fail. In New York, the US Treasury 10-year yield is back up, now at 1.59% today. Actually, there is action also in the Libor markets as well. In less than a month, new rules for money market funds will come into force, and these funds are shifting their focus to holding government securities rather than corporate paper. That means that some aspects of bank funding will have fewer sources. Markets are reacting by driving up the interest rates in Libor. They've risen more than 50 basis points in the past year, and the cost of currency swaps has risen even more. Many analysts think we are just only part way through these hikes. This shift could have a direct impact on New Zealand bank funding if bank treasurers have left their capital raisings to the last minute. The oil price has risen again today, this time by about $2, with the US benchmark now just under $47.50 a barrel, while the Brent benchmark is just under $50 a barrel. Smaller than expected American inventory levels are behind today's move. The gold price, however, is lower by about $8, now just over $1,336 an ounce. New Zealand dollar has slipped overnight on US dollar strengthening. It's now at 73.9 US cents, 96.7 Aussie cents, and 65.7 euro cents. The TWI is now at 77. I'm David Chaston. And that was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.